Hello, good morning, good evening, everyone. So, continuing our topic from yesterday about the warehouse order creation rule, we will see some more aspects of this uh, element today in SAP EWM. Again, it's demonstrated on embedded EWM S/4HANA 2022. This is the disclaimer that is relevant for this video and all the other videos on my channel. So, till yesterday, we saw about the determination, like this warehouse order creation rule search, and we saw item filters and limits, and then we also saw the inbound sorting versus the WO sorting. So what we saw yesterday: item filters, tick; limits, inbound sorting, WO sorting. Okay, with all these things, now we will look at subtotal filters. And one interesting aspect about the standard WOCRs available within what we say, SAP. Okay, so these three, DEF, UNGE, and MFS. So let's start with first subtotal filters. What is subtotal filter? It's basic. Let's directly jump into the system as always and look into that. Look into the demonstration first. So we have this delivery with 8 different products, and let's first look into these products. Okay, what are these? So basically, they are going to different places. Okay, different places means, like, we have a different put away control indicator. As per that, they are going to different storage types. Okay, so I'll just show you in the configuration what are these different storage types that they are going to. So as you can see over here, this three that we see out here is okay, let me refresh. Okay, so this two will go to HRS2 storage type, then these two will go to HRS3, and these two will go to HRS6. And when we say general, okay, it will go to 32A kind of a storage type in my scenario. So subtotal filters, actually they work on consolidation groups. Okay, so what are consolidation groups? Let's try to understand that. Okay, so there is a lot of theory around consolidation groups available. Okay, I would recommend you to just read it a bit, okay, before you see this as well. It might just help because, as usual, my demonstrations are pretty hands-on. So not a lot of theory, okay? So let's look into the activity areas. Okay, so for each of the storage types where the goods would be put away, we have different activity areas, and we will see that. Okay, so I'll select the 4 different activity areas, okay, which are applicable to my scenario that I'm showing today. So one of them being 32A. Okay, this, then this, and this. Okay, so 32A, if we see, there is one field here which is called as a consolidation group. Okay, we can see some theory over here. In customizing, you can divide the put away sections into various consolidation groups. Okay, and you can also specify the delivery criteria that should be used to determine the consolidation group for picking and or packing in the shipping. So we are not actually looking in the outbound cycle for demonstrating the subtotal filter, but just to keep it simple, I am showing in the inbound. So in the inbound, this consolidation group can be a part of, like different activity areas can have different consolidation groups. Okay, there are a lot of business use cases. Why do we need this? Okay, so for example, say that you want some suppliers product to be stored in some designated storages, then you can use this concept. Okay, so this is consolidation group for 00004 for the first storage type. For the second, it is different, 85. Okay, 4 ending with 85. For HRS3, it is 4 ending with 86. And for HRS6, it is 4000 ending with 92. Okay, so 4 different activity areas, 4 different consolidation groups. So basically what happens is subtotal filter, as we see. Okay, we'll see the configurations now. Okay, in the warehouse order creation rule, it will basically club all the line items in your delivery belonging to one consolidation group and then apply the filter instead of applying it at the line item level. It will club the items, I mean to say the line items in the warehouse delivery as per the consolidation groups. Okay, so if I go into my warehouse order creation rule, okay, same rule like yesterday. I have just changed the subtotal filter. Okay, so item filter I have deleted. Okay, and I have put a subtotal filter here. Okay, so STFL, subtotal filter. So let's go and look into what this, and the same limit like yesterday. Okay, only that I have increased it to 25 kgs. Okay, weight. So it is again working on the weights, but now we are looking at subtotal filter. So how would they be working? So if I go into this filters, and if I double click my subtotal filter, so the first thing is in the filter type, we have to select this instead of item level at the subtotal level. Okay. By default, when we do this, the system will group all the line items as per the same consolidation group and then do the filtration. Okay. So here we have put 15 kgs as the maximum weight. Okay. This is the only difference from the scenario yesterday. Okay. Because we are just seeing the same thing uh, only with the subtotal filter instead of an item filter. So what happens is in my case, this line item and this line item. Okay. Okay. Let me show you. These two line items, okay, the one that I highlighted in the delivery, these two, 10 and 60, they will go to this HRS2 storage type, okay. This is a put away scenario. And on those storage types is the activity area same name, HRS2, which have one consolidation group that we already saw, like, 400085, I think, okay. And then what happens is, so let me try to explain it a bit more detailed way. Okay, so here we have this. And what will happen is for this two two line items, okay, having two different products, it will be pointing to what we say, an activity area. So it will be pointing to an activity area, HRS2 activity area with DSTGRP. Okay, so this is the technical name for consolidation group, equal to 412385. Okay, I think 10 less. So this is the scenario. Okay. Similarly, what will happen is for the delivery, okay, sorry. for these two products, okay, the first two, I think, okay, let me see. Yeah, for line items 40 and 50, it will be pointing to a different storage type, 32A, okay, where we have a different consolidation group. Again, these two will be pointing to a different activity areas, having a different, and these two. So like that, we have four different activity areas where it is going and, pointing to. Now, what we have done is this delivery, and just pay attention that, these products 10, 5, 5, 20, all these products except these two products. Okay, so these two products have a unit weight of half kg for each, whereas all other six products that you see have a unit weight of 1 kg per each. Okay, per piece or per each, so the actual weight on this, so we will see the weight, okay, on all these lines, because that is the criteria that we have used, right? So on the line 10, we have 10 kgs. Okay. On the line 20, we have 5. Line 30, we have 5. Line 40, we have 10. Line 50, we have 10. Line 60, we have 10. Line 70, we have 1 kg. And line 80, we have 1 kg. That way. Okay. So what happens is when such a kind of a delivery is distributed to EWM, and we create all these warehouse tasks and warehouse orders, how the warehouse order creation rules with the given subtotal filters and limits act on it. Okay, we will see that. Okay, so I have already created. I will delete them, or I can see it. Okay, right here I can see these are the different. So what happened is, see these activity areas first. Okay, it is pointing to different activity areas. Now, how is it determined, and what, and what is this DEF, what is this UND? We will look into one by one. Okay, so what we will do is, as we know now, we have for WCR1, we have deployed a subtotal filter with a check of 15 kilograms. Okay, so before that, I will also show you the different warehouse process types that were determined on the different lines, because that is also important. Okay, or let me do one thing. Let me create a fresh delivery, otherwise it will be a bit confusing. So what I will do is, first I will just show you a simple demonstration with two line items. So let me first show you this, okay? 30 and 34. So I'll create a new delivery. I will delete everything except 30 and 34. For these lines, one each is equal to 1 kg. And I know that the weight on my subtotal filter is 15. Okay. So first I will try to show you a positive scenario, 5 and 5. So this delivery was passed to EWM, and we will quickly see what is it that was determined by the system, like, which warehouse order creation rule. So we will, create. So warehouse process type is 1010. Two tasks are created, and we will see. See, the warehouse order creation rule is WCR1, because like yesterday I showed you, at the warehouse process type level, at the warehouse process type level, I have directly mentioned my rule. Okay. And because it is satisfying the criteria, see, one is determining the rule, the other is satisfying the criteria. Okay. So what is the criteria? Criteria is decided by the different limits and filters and different, fields that we are mentioning in the rule. Okay. So if I look into this, if I just double click this rule, okay, I see a subtotal filter with a 15 kg. Okay. So what it is doing is, it is basically, system is adding the weights on both the lines. Okay. 5 kgs and 5 kgs and making it 10 kgs. Okay. Adding them up. So the total weight will be 10 kgs, which is good. Okay. Because the restrictions we have is for 15 kgs. Okay. And that is the reason the filter is passed now. Okay. And what is the limit that we have placed? That 25 kgs. Okay. So again, if we add, it is 10 kgs, which is less. Okay. So it is all well. Okay. We are good. That's why it was able to select this rule, because it was satisfying all the conditions. Okay. We only have filter and limit. Okay. And in filter and limit, we have just used weights. Okay. We have not used anything else. That is the reason. Okay. Sorting is fine. Okay. We don't need to bother about that. So this is one scenario where you saw. Okay, now what we will do, we will try to do the same example and show you how the system will disregard the subtotal filter criteria and select an alternative warehouse order creation rule. So what we will do is, we will maintain 10 kgs and 10 kgs. So 10 each is 10 kgs. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so 10 kgs and 10 kgs is, let's double click. Under unloading and shipment, we see 10 kgs for line 10, 10 kgs for the other line. Okay, save it. Now, ideally, if we use item filter, then this should again be passed. Okay, but because we have used a subtotal filter, right, we will see what happens. Okay, so let me just, so these are the two line items, 10 10, and we will create a warehouse tasks and warehouse orders for this. So two warehouse tasks are created. We will try to see the order. See, if you see, the rule that is determined is DEF, which is default, because what happened is, it failed in the check. Okay, because it added up the weights for both the lines together, because they belong to the same activity area, same consolidation group, and because we have used the subtotal filters as a criteria, which is having a restriction of 15 kgs. So when we add these two, it becomes 20 kilograms, and that is the reason it fails. Okay. So this was, okay, one. Now what I can again show you the same example. Okay. So let's have three lines now. Okay. Let's say we have five here. Now this 25,000. Okay. Where is it going to? First, we will see. Okay, it is going to HRS2, and okay, which is good. So what we will do is, just for your understanding, we will try to see what happens is, what would be the rule be identified. So here we are having, say, 15 kgs. Okay, 15 kgs. Okay, like this. Okay, sorry. So I'll select all the lines, deselect this three, delete. Under item overview, I will change the quantities. Okay. Now what I'll do is, for this line, I will have C6. Okay. And for this, we'll try to say 14 and maybe 1. Okay. So total is 15. Okay. So ideally what will happen to this, we will see. Okay. Now see, these two will be joined, added together, and it is not, reaching the maximum weight at the subtotal. So it will take the rule. Okay. Again, this I'll show you, because this is belonging to a different, activity area altogether. So if we see this delivery 274 and we create the warehouse task, we will see that there will be two orders that will be created. See, there are two orders, okay? The first order is this, okay, having one line with a 6, okay? And the other is they added both this line, okay, and took as 14 plus 1 is equal to 15. I'm just trying to show you, how the subtotal filters are working out over here, okay? One more example, okay? 30 goes with 34, right? So I will have four line items now in my delivery. 1, 2, 3, and so these three, okay, and this, okay, good. So rest I can delete. Now what I'll do is individually this and this, okay? 10 and 40 are joint, okay? Because they both go to the same activity area C, HRS2, and 30 and 34 are, together. So to these two, if we like club them, okay, the subtotal filter weight is say 12 kgs, but here it is say 20 kgs. Okay, and now if we see this, what will happen? It will select WCR1 for of one warehouse order, and then it will select DEF, which is default for the other warehouse order. Confirm. See, like I told you, right? For WCR1, sorry, for one warehouse order, it selected one because it is satisfying the criteria, right? This is for the lines, 10 and 2, 12, which I told you. Okay, 12 kilograms is the joint weight. And this is surpassing the 15. That's why it is, 20. So this is how the subtotal filters will work. Now, very important concept, very important to understand this. Okay, this part. First, we will go to the theory, and then we will see how it works in the system. See, now yesterday I told you that the WOCR is first specified at the WPT level. If it finds there, yes, see, one thing is finds, the other thing is if the rule is satisfied, okay? So there are two places where it could be specified. One is at the WPT, the other is at the activity area. So for example, preference is definitely given to WPT. Okay, so if it is finding here, it will not look into this. That's why not applicable. So if it is finding here over here, and if the rule is satisfied, then it will select this rule. Okay. If the rule is found here, okay, but it is not satisfied, then DEF would be taken into picture. Okay, default rule. Now what happens is there are two conditions, two more possibilities. What if the rule is not specified at the WPT? Then if it finds at the activity area, and if it is the rule is satisfied, then again it will select the rule. But here if the rule is not satisfied, then it will select UNDE, which is undefined, default undefined. Okay, this is very important. If the rule is not satisfied when it is, specified at the activity area level, then it will select UNDE. What happens when the rule is not specified at both the places? It will be default. Okay, so this we will see. And what are these rules? We will see that as well. Okay, so there is already one test case I have created. So for me to show you that, first I need to show you the different warehouse process types. Okay, the three different warehouse process types that I have used for this demonstration. So what happens is, see, this is the first warehouse process type 1010. This is applicable for 4 different products. I will show you the delivery. This is my delivery, okay? So for these lines 1, 2, 3, and this 6, because of the process type, what is that? Process type determination indicator that I have set, okay? Like this in the, I'll show you the monitor. For these, so for these 4 lines, the process type determination indicator is blank. That's the reason it selects this 1010, okay? So for 1010, what happens is I have specified right at the WPT level, okay? So which would be my first, first 2 conditions. Next, for the products 40 to 43, Z1 is the indicator for which the process type that is selected by system is Z010. So I'll show you that as well. So this is 1 and these 2 are the others, okay? And we will see display. So we saw the first, okay, 1010. For Z010, I have not specified here. Again, for Z020, I have not specified over here. So if you go back to the yesterday's class, how will it be determined is based on the destination activity area. How will the destination activity area come into picture is through the, by knowing, where are the products going, okay? So these 2 products, general means 32A is my storage type and 32A is my activity area. And HRS6 is the activity area for the remaining 2. So we will quickly see where these products are going, okay? Or like, what is the rule specified over there? So like I told you, for general, first 2, this is the place, okay, where I specify EPG1 32A. And with the activity put away, I have specified over here clearly that WCR1 will be my rule, okay? But for HRS6, if you see, I'll show you, okay? Yeah, selection by contents, activity area, warehouse number, okay? So my activity area is HRS6 and warehouse number is APG1. If I execute, I will see no entries found that match the selection criteria. Okay, which means the last row, this is what I wanted to show you. If the rule is not specified at the WPT, if the rule is not specified at the activity area, okay, we don't care if the rule is satisfied or not because there is no rule. Okay, and then what will the system give? It will not give UNDE, it will give def. Okay, so let's look into the demonstration. I'll come out over here, and so this is my delivery which I have already passed, okay, to EWM, and we will see the what the warehouse orders were created. So just for your information, 10 only this 2020 means 10 kgs, okay? So for 42 and 43 it will be 10 kgs. So we will see this delivery, how it proposed and what it proposed, okay? So against this, I have already created. So these are the different warehouse tasks, and we will see the warehouse orders. So we will first go with WCR1. Okay. So yes, see the process type was 1010 over here, which means we have specified the warehouse process type, sorry, warehouse order creation rule at WPT level. And in this case, the quantity or the weight is adding both of this makes it 10 kgs, okay, which satisfies the criteria, right? So that is the reason it picks this WCR1 because, like I told you, if it is able to find the WOCR at WBT level, and if the rule is satisfied, then the rule will be determined. Yes. Okay. Now we will see the second line. If the rule is found at the WPT, but it is not satisfied, then DEF. Okay. So for that, this is a demonstration. Okay. If you now look at this again, see the process type is 1010. Okay. That means the WPT was specified at the, sorry, the WOCR was specified at the WPT. But if you see the weights now, okay, for these two lines, 10 each and 10 pieces, okay. Let me go back to the delivery and show you the weights, okay, just so that no confusions. So this and this, if I show you, see 10 kgs for 25,000 and for 25,091, again 10 kgs, okay. So here the total weight added together, okay, was 20, okay. And that's the reason it was not able to satisfy the, what do we say, subtotal filter, because of which it failed the uh, satisfaction of that rule, and system told that we will say DEF will be used. Then why did DEF come here, we will see later. But here if you see, why was UNDE defined, okay, that we will see now. Okay, so here if you see, for UNDE, the process type that is determined is Z010, okay, and the activity area is 32A. So we already saw that at the activity area 32A, here, when it will be put away into that activity area, okay, my rule will be WCR1, okay. So the rule was identified, okay, but not at the process type level, rather at the activity area level. And was the rule satisfied? See, the quantity is one car, okay. So let me tell you what is that one car actually. So we will go into the delivery again and see the weights, okay. 42 and 43. I'll go back. I'll select 42. I'll select 43. Okay. And I will double click. So for first line, 10 kilograms. Okay. For second line, 10 kilograms. See, if I add both of these, the total weight becomes 20, which surpasses the subtotal filter maximum weight, which is 15 kilograms. And that is the reason instead of UNDE, sorry, instead of WCR1, it picks up UND. So this is very important when the system will go for DEF, when the system will go for UNDE. Now, the last, okay. What if the rule is not specified at both? Okay. So here what we have done is we have used a process type Z020 and the activity area is HRS6. Okay. We saw that before, that at the activity process type Z020, we did not specify the WOCR. And for activity area also, we did not specify, okay, destination. So the rule was not found, okay. And so it doesn't care, right? If the rule is not there at both the places, then it will not go for satisfaction, checking whether the rule is getting satisfied or not, but rather it will simply put up DEF, okay. So let me just show you one more example, just, live example with all the 8 line items playing together and some different criterias. Okay, so let's assume that we put lesser quantities and we satisfy everything. Okay, so let's put 5 quantities in all. Okay, and I'll select and I'll just show you the weights. So first line 5 kgs, second line 5 kgs, third line 5, fourth line 2.5, fifth line 2.5, sixth 5, like this, all the other 5 except 2 lines. Okay, and we will save this delivery. So it goes to our EWM system. Now we will see what happens. Okay, we have these 8 lines. I'll create warehouse tasks. As you see over here, we saw different warehouse process types, okay? And we will confirm the warehouse orders. So if you see, for all the three, like, process types or activity area combinations where the rule was specified, it was, selecting the rule. Only for the last situation, for this process type and for this activity area, HRS6, where the system was not given any rule, any warehouse order creation rule, it told we will go with default, okay? Now, what is this default? What is this UNDE? Okay, exactly. So DEF is, these two are system created rules, in internal to system. And basically they use a sort rule PIPA. Okay, that's it. There are some more things to it, okay, like a DEF, if it works with HU warehouse tasks, okay. So this is something. Def will always create one warehouse order per one warehouse task if the warehouse task is a HU warehouse task. Okay. So this is also one more thing about, a peculiar thing about the DEF rule. Maybe this would be also the same for UND, but I have not tested that. Okay. So yes. So this is, this basically helps us, know much, know, something better, like, about this rule. Okay. Now we are having, when is the rule determined, and how sequence. We know the item filters and limits from yesterday. We know the sortings, inbound sorting, WO sorting. Today we got to know about the consolidation group and subtotals. Okay, same thing. So okay, and last we saw, about the different standard rules. So there is one more rule actually, internal MFS, which is for material flow systems. Okay, and it's mainly used for those storage types which are, I think, MFS driven. So we have that storage type. Let me just show you. So if say for an example, the storage type is like, having a storage type role of H or J, and, we have MFS active. There might be some other settings that are required for making this active as well. I don't know. But in that case, the system will always, if it is having an activity area pointing to this storage type, then it will always determine this rule. I don't think, it will then even check whether you have mentioned the rule at WPT or at activity area, and, whether it is getting satisfied or not. It will simply pick up MFS because it has a criteria that it will always limit a maximum of 1 WT per hour, whereas same thing like, what we mentioned over here. Because it makes sense, right? Because this warehouse orders would be operated by machines in a MFS environment, which are capable of executing only, one task at one point of time. And I think this is also one technical things. If the storage type is relevant for MFS, which I just showed you, storage type role J and H, I think the warehouse tasks, okay, this is interesting. The warehouse tasks would have the MFS field KZ sub as X, okay. In this case, the WOCR. So in the code, it is basically checking this field, okay, at the warehouse task level. Okay, so let us check this field in the table. Okay, see, this is the field. Warehouse task to subsystem, KZ sub. So if it is X, that it is sent to external system. So this would be set in, within the warehouse task if it finds out that the storage type to which, the products would be going If it is having that storage type role of H or J, then automatically this field would be set as X, and then this field. So let me just again also show you the program, which is, running in the background to find out all this, different. So this is the program SCWM SAP LWHO underscore main, and now it is having a lot of includes. So if you see each include, so this is for limits. Okay, if we see, then this, if we see, it is for, I don't know what is it for, but yeah, create in parallel something. F03 is for sorting. See, 04 is for item filter. See, filter underscore IL. And let's see 05 what it is. This is for subtotal filter, which we saw today. So basically we would have, set a back, what we say, breakpoint here in this, and let's do one quick test. Okay, select all. um, just let's do this too. Okay, and 6 and 9. Okay, so total 15 kgs it will. Okay, sorry. So this delivery is saved now, and if we try to create the warehouse orders for this, that code should be hit for subtotal filters ideally. Let's see. See, the debugger started and it went exactly into that function module, and now it will, do a whole lot of checks, where it might check for that weight and all those things. Okay, but I will not go into the technical aspects of this, but yeah, so I'll just exit from it. Okay, two warehouse tasks are created and confirmed, and it will ideally pick up that role. Okay, which is good. So again, when we go into that code, okay, where I was showing you breakpoints, let me stop the debugger. V38. I think this is the you know F16. Okay, yeah, this is the include. Uh, when it will actually apply the rule. Okay, and this is where in the code, see this part. It checks for, special logic for default and undefined, and what we saw today, MFS. Okay, so this part should, hit in the code if we want to test for, scenarios where DEF or UND is defined. So yeah, there is a lot of things to the warehouse order creation rule yet. Okay, we have just covered very little. Okay, like I told you, it's a very important config element. So let's summarize what we have seen. So we have not yet seen the creation category. We have 10 categories. We will see into that later. And we are only selecting pick path up till now. Okay, but there is, see, now here we see a consolidation group as well. But let's hold on to this creation category at this point of time. So we saw item filters, we saw subtotal filters, we saw limits, we saw inbound sorting, we saw WO sorting. Okay, next we will see packing profile, ship packing profile. Okay, and then there are some more things below, cap compatibility, like I told you. But beyond this everything, like, if I go into the limits also or filters also, say for example, if I go into any filter, then again, we have a category at filter, warehouse task and physical inventory. Then we already discussed about it this yesterday, volume, weight, and time, and, all the things. But then we have a warehouse process type also as a criteria which we can set. Priority we have. So this is at the filter level. Okay, at the item, at the limit level, what we have, let's see. Again, definitely weight, volume, and time. We have maximum consolidation group per warehouse order. This is something which we can test actually. Then maximum number of handling units. Okay, so if we are working with handling units, we will see that. Okay, so like I told you, it's a very big config element. Okay, having a lot of possibilities. Then in packing profile, if we go, which we will see next, okay. See, the packing profile can be having a simple algorithm, a complex, or a baddie. Then I got, okay, this is a big, huge topic. And it is very important, in all the advanced features and functions of EWM. If we go for pack spec, there are steps, okay. And if we go for LOSC, not LOSC, but POSC as such, okay. Then all these different, warehouse order creation rules will definitely, you will see, this as one of the critical elements. So yes, let's take one step at a time. So we have covered some topics of this rule, okay. And yep, that's it for today. Happy learning. Thank you for your time.